Spoilers ahead. This is your one and only warning. Leave now or forever hold your peace, because we're shooting blindly in these streets. And now, a Japan Time Podcast special presentation.
Hello and welcome to another Japan Time Roundtable. This one is going to be much more condensed, let's say, than others. Tonight we have myself, we have Vera.
Good evening, everybody. I'm like half awake right now, so I apologize if my energy levels are even lower than usual, but I'll do my best.
And we have Mike.
Hey, my energy levels are also fairly low right now.
Nice little chill Mario movie discussion. So when did everyone go see it? Because I know I saw it Wednesday night.
I saw it on Saturday evening.
I also saw it on Saturday.
Okay, so I guess off the bat, there'll be some spoilers. So we're just gonna talk about the movie in full, mostly through everything there is. I guess it's not mostly, but we're just gonna talk about the movie in full, so you don't want to be spoiled. Last chance. Anyway,
We're not
I guess
gonna do a quick general.
Oh yeah.
Before we get into spoilers.
I was about to do that. I just wanted to give a heads
Oh,
up.
my
But
fault.
no, you're good. It makes sense. But yeah. So, what were both of your general opinions of the movie?
It was good. It was pretty good. It was I think as a video game adaptation, it was fantastic. As a movie, it was less fantastic, but I still had a good time watching it.
Yeah, I have to agree pretty much. Yeah, with that whole thing. Like as like a Mario movie. That they did it. They did do the Mario adaptation, fairly faithfully.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, just like as a movie experience, it isn't like amazing, like the best movie I've ever seen, but also like, not every movie needs to be that.
Yeah, because that's also how I felt coming out of it. Something felt not like off. It just not even like whiplash. It's just like, oh, it's done. it was only like 90 minutes, but it's so fast. And this is my first time seeing an Illumination movie, and like my friend was telling me afterwards, like, yeah, they're all like that. They're all just like super fast through the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah, Illumination, their like shtick is just making movies where like not a whole lot happens. But you get like funny slapstick visuals, and it's like perfect for Mario.
Yeah, definitely. Though the animation, everything with this was incredible. I guess.
Oh, like far and away, like I think the best they've ever done.
Yeah, easily.
And it's
Very, very
definitely
gorgeous
showing
film.
in like sales. It's now the #1 opening of an animated film ever, beating Frozen 2, right? What's the past top one?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
fastest grossing. Yeah, with Frozen 2 being the previous fastest grossing animated movie.
Yeah, 370 million, I believe, at the box office in its opening few days.
Yeah, so this movie is definitely going to go on to make a lot of money, which is nice because Nintendo's been hesitant to make stuff. Okay, I have to ask this of both of you. Have you seen the old Mario movie? The like live action one?
I saw it when I was little and I remember like being into it.
I have not. I just knew of it, but I did watch the animated TV show, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Okay, because
Yeah,
I've
I
never
didn't see
seen this
that.
show, but I used to love that old movie also when I was little. I
Yeah.
remember for my birthday one time I rented it and was just playing it because I really liked that movie.
Yeah, it was like so weird. But like that's what kind of made it cool. It made me want to watch it.
Yeah. But I brought it up because Nintendo said like they were hesitant to do more stuff with their IPs like this because of past failures of this kind of stuff. But after this
Yeah.
movie, there's no way we're not getting more Nintendo movies. Definitely another Mario
Yeah.
movie for sure.
Oh yeah. It does feel like, a little weird like we finally got a good movie. It's like, all right, what's next? But they're kind of doing it too, so I guess it's fine. They're teasing, like, oh, we think we want Pedro Pascal as Wario actually.
Oh, did they actually say that?
Jack Black said that.
Okay. That could work, yeah.
I think Chris Pratt wants Danny DeVito to be Wario.
That also would be. I think that
That would be
even
amazing.
funnier. Yeah. Speaking of the actors, then, what were your opinions of them in the movie? Because I feel like the trailer did Chris Pratt no favors, and in the movie he was definitely fine as Mario.
Um, Honestly, like since day one, I was like not too worried about Chris Pratt being Mario, and I honestly like I didn't mind his uh lines in the trailers. They weren't like amazing, but you know, I thought they were like fine. But no, in the movie, I think generally everyone did a pretty great job. I can't think of a performance that I like loathed,
Mhm.
except for maybe like a side character, which maybe we'll get into a bit more when we get into spoilers. But all like the characters that they announced beforehand, you know, I enjoyed. And I know people had issues with the Kongs. I don't know if
Mhm.
you guys felt that way.
I
I
mean,
did think it
like,
was, I did think it was funny that we kind of predicted that. There were two predictions with Donkey Kong, with Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong. Either that there was going to be some kind of banana weed joke in there, which there wasn't. At least I don't recall there being any. Or that he was going to do the Seth Rogen laugh, which he very much did.
yeah,
um, but yeah, I don't think there was. For me, I don't think there was anyone that was like offensively bad. Everyone did a solid enough job. Obviously, Jack Black stole the show.
Yeah,
He
for
was
yeah,
sure.
for
fantastic, and
sure.
you could very much tell he had a lot of fun in the role. Between the musical number and just how he delivered all of his lines and just a lot of the interview stuff, like he clearly had a lot of fun being Bowser.
It's
But
like, yeah,
quick
go.
pause.
Hmm.
I've never seen this setup before. This is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, this is the other
Why
one
don't
that
we
we.
use this for the show?
I don't know,
All
but this is the other setup that was made for this. Yeah.
right, continue.
Oh, I said what I wanted to say.
Oh, I thought McDareth was about to say something.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that the Peaches song is like what it started hitting top in Spotify and it's up for Grammy and Emmy nominations
Are you
basically.
serious?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's
But I was just gonna say
that
in
is
my
very
theater
silly.
because I went at like 6 p.m. so it was like a lot of kids. There was like one group that was like the age of me and my friends there, and like people were laughing at different stuff, but people were dying when that part came on.
Yeah. No, yeah, just like I guess what you were saying with the theater, like I have not been to a movie with like energy like this in so long. Just like all throughout the theater and even in the movie theater itself, just like the vibes were like so good. Everyone was just so jazzed to see this movie.
Yeah. It was actually like before we get into full spoilers, it was cool like because of how Mario is, right? You have people who've grown up with Mario from NES who maybe just played the old one on NES and haven't touched it since. Then you have kids who've played newer Mario games. So all these like the fact that I think it's a little spoilery, but the movie touches it's not just like NES Mario stuff. It's like every single Mario game they just pull
Yeah.
stuff from.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah,
like
springboarding off of. Sorry, continue.
no, go.
Okay, I was going to say springboarding off of both of that point and the music point. I love how they did the music in this movie for the most part. I think a lot of the remixes from the games were really good, and there was a really nice selection of music tracks. Like obviously you had a lot of the iconic platforming tracks, but you also had stuff like during the Mario Kart segment they had like the Mario Kart Wii character select music, I believe.
Yeah.
And there's just a great range of both classic and modern Mario music. But of course,
Yeah.
on top of that, being an Illumination movie, they had to throw in a couple of licensed licensed tracks in there as well. I think the fun thing about the choices that they made though was that like it was like 80s music, which obviously makes
Yeah.
Yeah.
sense for an 80s, Mario being born in the 80s.
So what do you guys think of the licensed music? Because I mean, I like the songs they picked anyway, so I didn't mind them. But I know some people were
Um
against it.
yeah, like I honestly like it didn't take me out of the movie as much as I've heard it took a lot of other people out of the movie. Um the only one that I thought really didn't fit the scene was the holding out for a hero one. And I wonder if that's just because like Shrek 2 did it so much better.
Oh yeah, I forgot Shrek used that song in a montage too.
Um,
Shrek
But,
did a cover of it,
yeah,
which
like
is why it
the
worked so much
definitive
better.
version of the song.
Yeah.
But I thought like the use of like Mr. Blue Sky was very, very well done. And Brooklyn, I thought, I saw a Twitter post of because the soundtrack has songs that were going to be used in those scenes instead, but were replaced with licensed tracks.
Mhm.
And I saw like a Twitter thread of them putting the music in, like back in. And some of them, like, I honestly do enjoy the licensed song better. Because a lot of them did seem more like generic orchestrations than like Mario remixes. Like the obstacle course song was more of like like a generic orchestra
Mhm.
than pulling from Mario.
Mm.
Surprised they wouldn't use like. Okay, actually, to think, I don't think this is very. I'm talking about music here specifically, but did they ever use an athletic theme in this movie? It just crossed my mind. I don't know if I
think
heard
they
it.
used in the segment near the end where they're
Mhm.
like the sea. Well, I guess spoilers. You saw in the trailer the siege on Peach's castle. They do the
Oh, okay.
yeah, they do that
With
one.
okay. I guess I just didn't notice it as much. Oh, I guess that was a kind of nice thing about it for a movie that. Okay, let's just go to spoilers. It's kind of hard to talk around the points we're getting to now.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask you was the DK Flamethrower
Uh,
scene. All right.
Real
So
quick
what
about
comes
the
up-
music.
Mhm.
The only thing I didn't like about it is that I wish they played a song in full because it feels like a lot of them was just like a generic orchestration and then like they play like 5 seconds of a Mario tune and then go back to generic orchestration. It's like you could have just do the whole Rainbow Road song, you know?
Yeah, it was like
It felt a little weird.
'cause I definitely agree in parts where they're kind of filling out a long segment. It's kind of odd. I thought it was nice when something would happen that's from a game, they would play song music from that game that represents like when he's first going into like the Mushroom Kingdom, for instance. I think I remember that it's playing like a more generic, not generic, but it plays like an overture of like the Prince of Peace's castle theme. When you first see the castle, he gets in, it changes to a
Yeah.
different one. When he gets to the clear warp pipes, it sounds like it's playing like a new Super Mario Bros. World theme, and like even like
Yeah,
when
and
the
when you see that the toads getting the coins, it plays like the item house theme.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
So like tying it together like that was like really nice with how they did that. I also really liked with the Tanuki suit. Is skipping way ahead. The Tanuki suit when it plays Super Mario Bros. World 3 with the bonsai bill.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what that was. I knew I recognized that from somewhere.
Did they change his name? Because I could have sworn I heard him say Bomber Bill instead.
They probably didn't want to say bonsai, I guess.
Okay.
So they changed it to Bomber Bill.
Okay. I guess while we're doing spoilers, we can start at the beginning. So, what did you think of like, or I guess before then, another thing that's this movie is chock full of his references. So, what do you think of like, in general, the amount they had and how they were putting? Is I knew there was going to be a good amount because they were showing a lot in these trailers already. So, good idea. They were going to have a fair amount of references in the movie compared to like the Sonic movie where the references are very like there's like a couple. There's like gun and some very subtle ones. This one's much more in your face about this reference and this reference kind of thing. So
Yeah,
what did you guys feel about those?
Honestly, like I wasn't paying too much attention to like Easter eggs on my watch. I was just like I was vibing out to the movie. But I did notice like a couple of posters. Like I noticed the balloon fight car wash was very noticeable. I didn't see the punch out ones. I saw everyone talking about the punch out. I didn't see any punch out things.
Yeah,
The pizzeria was
pizzeria at
called
the
the
start.
Punch Out Pizzeria,
Okay.
and it had like posters of Punch Out characters as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and even like one picture of Little Mac and Doc Lewis.
I saw a
There's-
poster of the polar bear from Ice Climber. I love that.
Yeah,
there
there was
the
like a
duck
car
hunt
wash or
sign as
something.
well.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, there was a duck hunt sign, but it was in like French. But
Yeah, it
it
was
just
like
said duck hunt.
it was next to like a French restaurant, which I forget what it was called. I know it had the French word for duck, which was kind of
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
And
did notice
then
Kid Icarus. They kind of snuck that one in there.
okay,
Yeah, that
so
was cute.
what do you feel about the fact that okay, so they took the Donkey Kong arcade, just made a Jumpman with a cool cameo of Charles Martinet dressed as like the Jumpman style Mario doing the voice, which was nice. But what do you think about like okay, so Donkey Kong is Jumpman because Donkey Kong is this, but Mario's playing an NES with Kid Icarus. So like,
Yeah.
isn't that kind of weird?
No, I don't think it's too weird. Like they have like in Mario 3D World, there's a bonus room that has Link sprite from Zelda 1. So like, with Mario, I think they're a bit more loosey goosey and just like having fun references to all of Nintendo's games.
Okay, and yeah, I do remember that room.
Um,
Uh,
Also,
Yeah, we've
Mario
been-
did Fair like 3 times.
yeah.
He did. The final thing, the joint fair with Luigi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
I'm actually curious thinking about it if some of these references are like just references, or if they're like kind of suggesting that maybe we want to expand upon these specific things. Like,
That's
could
what I
we
was
get
wondering.
a Punch Out movie or a Kid
Yes.
Icarus movie? I mean, they're a
Especially
lot
with
more
Punch
niche.
Out. Because Punch Out
Yeah,
felt like it just existed in the world. Because they look like framed images, like they went and took pictures of the actual people who were boxers and just put them up.
Punch Out would
Like-
be great as a movie.
Yeah, Punch Out lends itself very well to a movie. I mean, it's you could very easily do like a Rocky formula, a Rocky-esque type movie with Little Mac on his like journey to become the best, the strongest
Yeah.
boxer or whatever. It's like it's all very much there. And then like a Kid Icarus movie would be a ton of fun based on the cast of like Uprising and how they managed to do all of the humor in that. But at the same time, of course, these franchises are considerably more niche than Mario. There's no way that they would
Yeah.
be anywhere near as lucrative. I think if they're going to tackle another big Nintendo franchise, it would probably be something like Zelda or maybe even
Yeah.
Metroid or something like that.
Yeah, those two I feel lend themselves really well to a movie.
So like, yeah, speaking of like Mario doing the fair, they also had like at the big premiere event, at the after party, they had the catering and all that stuff, and one of the dishes was called the Final Smash. It's like
That's so cool.
clearly they're frothing at the mouth to do a Smash movie.
Yeah, even when
Ooh.
I was looking at the trailers, like on the Illumination, like YouTube channel, the one that's like a little clip of Mario and Donkey Kong like about to fight in
Battling,
the
yeah.
arena, it's actually just called Smash.
Yeah. There's honestly like the fight scenes in the movie, let them do it. It doesn't need to be an NCU thing. They could just do it like a old school like TV crossover event where it's just like they come together for the movie and then none of it matters afterwards.
Yeah, like almost like Jimmy Timmy, just have the villains just
Yeah.
like get together and then they have to do something about it.
I guess while we're on the topic, two franchises that immediately stuck out in my mind as just like perfect for Illumination is Illumination, like I said at the beginning, is like very good studio at just making movies that are just kind of like nothing happens
Hmm.
and still entertain big audiences. Dude, Animal Crossing. Perfect.
Ooh, yes.
Perfect for Illumination.
Okay, but walk me through the plot because that's the part where I'm like kind of like
Exactly, that's the thing. Illumination is very good at making movies with very, very thin plots
okay, 'cause I'm like
that
trying to
also
think
make
through what
tons of
this-
money.
what do you even do with an Animal Crossing movie? I know they made like an OVA, but it was Japan only. But I'm just trying to think like what do you do in something like that?
I'm sure they'd figure it out. I mean, like the whole thing about the movie, like the OVA they did, is just like it was like a slice of life thing about like losing a neighbor, like having them move away, and just like the heartache that comes with that. I think they could do something similar.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that would work very well with Animal Crossing because people who play the game understand that feeling.
Yeah, And the only other one I think about this when I think about like the animation and just like specifically the facial animation on like Mario and all that. I know it's niche, I know it's new, I know it's not very popular, but I think arms would work super well
Yeah,
with just like their very cartoony animation.
I could see what would be funny if they do a Punch Out movie and put an Arms character in it as a little like Easter egg too.
Crossover. There we go.
Now we're talking. Now we're cooking.
Now we're synergizing.
So I guess going fully into
Yeah, go back to
the
the Mario movie.
No, but did you have one other thing you want to say?
No.
All right,
I want to talk about the Mario movie some more.
So going fully into spoilers, opens up with the like Super Mario Bros. Commercial. I think it's funny that they do it so they can do like the actual try to play the accents from the games, and they like play it up like, well, it's good advertisement. We got to do it. With Luigi's like, but what about? Do we really need the accents? So I thought that was a little cute way of like acknowledging it, because people are always going to question it, but not being like going too far with it. And that's also the tie-in to like the Mario Bros. Super Show too.
Yeah. And even like past that point, they do like occasionally do like the exaggerated voice to like highlight like a comedic moment. It's like,
yeah.
I think they handled that very, very well.
It obviously Charles Martinet voiced the Jumpman guy, but did he
Mhm.
also voice Mario/Luigi in that commercial? Because it sounded much closer to him than it did like Chris Pratt
No,
and Charlie
I think
Day.
that was definitely Chris Pratt and Charlie Day. The only other character he voices is
Mario's father.
Mario's
the
dad.
dad. Yeah.
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 Which I thought was also a really nice touch.
Hmm.
I really loved that scene. Like the whole dinner scene. It was it was so fun like seeing Mario and Luigi's family.
I agree. It was such a cool insight into the characters and what the world they're building, but also it felt like it just came out of like left field almost, because it's just something Nintendo has never touched.
I
that
know,
thought
yeah.
of them having an extended family, and what does that look like? So it's interesting for this movie to really try to ground the character by having that scene there.
Yeah,
I
because
love
like the closest that we've seen to like Mario and Luigi's past is obviously in their baby forms, and in terms of quote unquote the canon with regards to them, they were just delivered by a stork and carried around by Yoshi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always loved the, Mario and Luigi come from New York or origin story. And I know they've tried to get away from that over the years, but I love that like Illumination brought it back and they even fleshed out more.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was definitely the right choice, really. If you're trying to make it so it feels like people can connect with Mario more, that grounded nature of being from New York, seeing the transition into it. Even like, because Mario is a character, which a lot of people talked about this when comparing like Mario and Sonic, where obviously Sonic has years where Sega has sometimes terribly, but put effort into trying to develop Sonic himself as a character, while Nintendo kind of just uses Mario. They don't really do much besides that.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like them actually approaching this movie and then going at it with the angle of humanizing Mario was really interesting to see that. And I feel like it's not unfortunate because Illumination did such a good job with this movie, but I would have loved more scenes at going over that, like how characters feel in a given moment, because like we get something and it cuts really fast to something else.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest gripe with the film as a whole. And as you mentioned before, Mike, this is kind of like the Illumination thing, where almost every scene where it feels like it's meant to be a focused character moment isn't long enough. It doesn't give enough time to really let those moments sit.
Yeah.
And like you could argue, or just because it's a kids movie or whatever, but I know I've seen a good handful of recent animated films, particularly like a couple of DreamWorks most recent ones, like The Bad Guys and Puss in Boots, where they do that much better, where you get that time to let the characters have those moments, to really kind of develop and just kind of let their emotions do their thing. And I think that was probably one thing that was a little bit lacking for this film.
Yeah, I just think they probably just had so much on their plate
Yeah,
With like
yeah.
I'm sure they like shot for that 90-minute runtime. I'm sure that's like that was like a very big priority for them. Just have like a very nice condensed movie, and you got to do the origin story. You got to do the opening of the Mushroom Kingdom. You got to do kart racing. You got to do Kongs. You got to do the final battle. It's like when you get to that point, I can see how the dialogue scenes maybe got like we gotta take those out.
Mm.
Yeah.
Same with like just the journey. If I could like extend this movie and like put in more scenes, I would have fleshed out the moment they leave the Mushroom Kingdom to go to the Kongs, like that whole journey. Because that's the journey, and we don't
Yeah.
see any of it.
Yeah.
It's just done in like a 5-minute montage,
Yeah.
if that.
Like Mario goes through this whole like day long training montage to like get ready to like face the world, and all we see is like a few clips of him walking very slowly. This is disappointing. That was definitely the most disappointing part of the movie for me. Is just like, I want to see like, I love those little adventure movies like Shrek 1, like seeing Shrek and Donkey go on their little journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could have had that with Mario, Peach, and Toad.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like there was that one trailer where they essentially, showed that trailer montage, and in the context of that trailer, you think, oh,
Oh, they
this is
just
like
made
a
it for the
segment.
trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, this is maybe like a segment of what the large journey is going to be. They're just showing shots of these, like these establishing shots of these environments, and we're going to be spending a little more time in each of them. Nope, that is
Yeah.
literally how it was in the film.
Yeah. It was
Oh,
disappointing.
also, rewinding ever so slightly because we're talking about
Yeah.
obviously Brooklyn, and obviously the Mario Bros being from Brooklyn. Pauline as well.
Oh yes,
Oh yeah,
yes.
she shows
I
up
was very happy
for
she showed up as a mayor.
a little
Yeah.
bit there. Very
Also,
cool.
also apparently that scene, the movie, like the thing it was saying at the bottom, because I didn't catch this, but I saw something on YouTube later. Apparently, it was saying that due to the flood, people were racing in the city, and it was like a wave race reference.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, like the entire Brooklyn opening, like I wish the whole movie was paced a bit more like that because it felt like it was generally moving at a very nice pace,
Yeah,
Mm.
and it goes
and
very fast after
it
that.
sped up very fast. But I do think it did kind of settle back into a nice rhythm when the Mario vs Donkey Kong fight happened.
Yeah, well, that's like got room to actually breathe and wasn't just a quick thing and be done. Which is good because like that was such a. I mean, Mario vs Donkey Kong is just such a core thing of those two characters in terms of lore, even though technically it's cranky, but it's of like the lore of those two characters is like the old Donkey Kong arcade machine. So actually having that fight and letting it last a long time was nice, and then they could use it as an excuse to show more power ups that they probably like the mini mushroom, although they call it back later, and then the cat soup, which they don't use again.
Yeah, I think honestly, like the Donkey Kong fight was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, that was a really great sequence. They made
It
Cat
just,
Mario so cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
know.
Cat like Cat Mario is really fun to use in 3D World. It's one of the most. I think it's up there as one of the most fun power ups. It feels very
Yes.
it feels very freeform, and you just feel like you feel very powerful in the catsuit, and they really captured that in the film where Mario was just very powerful in the catsuit.
Yes. I loved how they did it.
I like how also they played up super hard that oh he's a cat so he's gonna do like cat things, but then how he actually finishes Donkey Kong is like with the dive that they actually use in the game.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
big cat pounce. That was great. And just like Donkey Kong in general, I thought he was great in this movie. Just
Yeah,
everything about him.
I like the portrayal because it wasn't like it was very much almost the six. I felt like DK64 Donkey Kong where he's like he sees himself as being really cool. Like he comes out to the DK rap, which I will say it's unfortunate they didn't put Grant Kirkhope's name in the credits for that. It's just DK rap from Donkey Kong 64. It didn't say anything else. But he comes out to the DK rap. He's like very much playing to the crowd. Like it's a character who has a tie with his initials on it. So I like that they played up that side of Donkey Kong rather than make him like super serious or something like that.
Yeah. Or just like super dumb, like how they do in like a lot of the recent games. Like, oh, I thought he was very, very cool.
I will say, I wish they'd use Diddy and Dixie more.
They're saving that for the spin-off movie. Trust.
True. What are you about to say?
God, could you imagine like a Donkey Kong movie with the entire DK crew? Oh my god.
Yeah, especially now that they're like kind of established, and you can even play off some Mario things in that movie too now.
Yeah, they had DK, Dixie, and Chunky Kong in the stands. There's no way they're not doing a movie. There's no way.
I expected to at least see them on like the card. I know technically they're on the cards, but I thought they would have a scene on the cards helping fight or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird how many like side characters are just kind of like just chilling.
Yeah. And Vera, I think you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I liked that they made DK like competent, and that was kind of his whole thing. That like Cranky always just kind of saw him as like a bit of a joke, but he was a bit more than just that. Obviously, just when they got swallowed up by the eel, and he used the rocket to escape. Stuff like that. I also just like that he was kind of an arsehole, because like the relationship between Mario and DK has always been like kind of strange, because obviously they're enemies in like the original Donkey Kong game, well, Mario and Cranky specifically, but Mario and DK, like they don't quite have this friend, but they don't have an enemy relationship.
Yeah, almost
in
like
the later
rivals.
games. So them being kind of at each other's throats and insulting each other, I thought was quite a fun dynamic between the two.
Yeah, and it didn't seem like super malicious. Like you even see like DK like actually like pull his cart to the side to let sure Mario like got on.
Yeah.
Like he didn't like move out of the way or anything. Like he still understood like, do what's right at the end of the day, even if you have your bad blood.
Yeah, there's like a greater evil.
Yeah. He didn't like toss Mario off his cart or something.
Or fire him with a rocket.
Yeah.
I guess there's another character who got sidelined, unfortunately, is Luigi. So what did you think overall of him?
Oof. Poor guy.
Yeah, they did not do nearly enough with Luigi.
Yeah, I get why, right? Because they didn't want to just make Peach the damsel in distress. They wanted her to have more of a role, which is fine. I mean, some people are
but you
upset
still
about
did
that,
it to someone.
Yeah, someone has to have it, so they did it to Luigi.
I mean, you didn't. No one had to have it. They could have figured a way.
I feel like at the pace they're going, they need an excuse for Mario to want to fight Bowser. So I gotta save my brother. Is just a quick way.
Mario wants to fight Bowser because his dad got sucked in the pipe too, and he got kidnapped. There we go.
Yeah, actually, yeah. If they did the parent instead, yeah, then you could keep Luigi around. Because my thing is, with that final fight, I wanted to see more of Mario and Luigi working together so badly. Because that reminded me of Mario and Luigi, like the series. Like that fight was so cool to see them. Even like, okay, because before Smash, so Luigi was my favorite Mario character. Luigi in Smash is kind of annoying. But like actually seeing Luigi's in danger, he's gonna run away. They do him with like almost Luigi's Mansion segment, running from the dry bones, which making them zombie-like was so cool. Because like when it's a swarm of them chasing him, it's like World War Z in a Mario movie.
Yeah, like was that like some Evil Dead stuff when they're like clawing through the door and like trying to pull like Luigi's face back?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So like he had his moments that fit for like, Luigi, even to play like a little bit of the Luigi's Mansion theme at the start of that. When I was there with my friend, he's like, "Oh, they're gonna make him shout out for Mario." Like he does it. I'm like, "Oh, that's so perfect." It's like, everyone thinks Luigi's Mansion. He's got the flashlights, looking around, calling for his brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at that last scene, and I kind of want. There's another part I wish they slowed down a bit because Mario's in danger and Luigi saves him, which it feels like, as if you're a fan of Luigi, it's yes, because yes, Luigi's afraid, but when push comes to shove, he'll step up to try and help his brother when he needs to. So I almost feel like a couple more shots there of just seeing the moment when Luigi's decides to step up and then is there, rather than just cutting straight to him being there. And then Mario, instead of leaving his brother to get the star, they go together. And like, it's like that segment was so cool. I just wanted more of that.
Yeah, the whole superstar segment. We're skipping way ahead, but yeah, that whole segment was fantastic. Like honestly, I didn't expect anything in this movie to be as hype as like the Super Sonic in Sonic 2.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
yeah, I could feel with that segment for sure.
I think it was. And the thing is, like, Mario isn't really like that, you know? Mario isn't really like, I'm gonna power up and do something crazy.
Yeah, it's only like a couple games that ever even happens.
Yeah, like Mario never goes like Super Saiyan like Sonic does. So even though that wasn't like he doesn't do that, I was fully expecting something like that at the end of this movie. Like something to kind of go up against Super Sonic's scene in Sonic 2. And I thought it would either be Superstar or like the Mario World cape. Or something like that.
But yeah, that's true, because the cape is only referenced in like their commercial.
Yeah. I wasn't super big on the visual or the superstar though, as in like they went for kind of like an outline rather than the full on glow that the games do.
I wonder if that was just like a seizure thing. Maybe just like they didn't want too many flashing lights.
Maybe.
They did keep the rainbow trail at least.
Yeah, that was nice. Oh, also, because that scene reminded me, I like that in terms of like we talked about Mario doing forward air and stuff like that. Like even when Mario runs, he throws his arms back when he hits like max speed.
Yeah.
So like, and they did like a lot of, definitely you could tell these like Illumination really likes Mario. There's a
I spun him by his tail.
Yeah.
And I clapped.
This movie is filled with just love for that series for sure.
I am kind of sad they didn't say the line when they spun him by the tail.
Yeah, I thought they might have.
I think it's just because like that wasn't the finishing blow.
True.
They wanted to end it with a stomp. In typical Mario fashion.
They could have said the line then.
They could have. But I do still think that part was great with like the music swelling.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And, like, battling the Bowser's fire breath. That whole sequence, the whole scene in like Brooklyn at the end was just like so well done with Bowser going rage mode. Oh my god, he was
so really
scary. Good. And I really loved the scene where like Mario got like super beat up, and he sees the commercial like glitching out.
Yeah, like the callback to how everything basically started, and that's what encouraged him to go and save Brooklyn, as the commercial says to him.
And then like the TV cuts out, and like you see the beat up Mario there. It's like I didn't expect the movie to like make me feel these things. It was so cool.
I want more scenes like that, because like I love these movies. Okay, so real fast, because obviously a Sonic movie exists. First Sonic movie, I really like it, but I love the second because I love the interaction between these characters and outside of a setting of their games. So I really wanted just more of that in this movie, which we get a good amount, but like
absolutely
everything's so fast, you don't really get to sit on any of it.
That's why it's like it's tough for me to say which one I think is better, because like the Sonic movie, I think they like make up for where the other one lacks. Sonic 2 and the Mario movie, whereas like Mario obviously feels more in line with the games than the Sonic movie does. Like the Sonic movie has a lot of like meandering with things that I imagine most people don't care about, like the dance scene and the wedding scene and all the stuff like that. But then the Sonic movie has like these great character moments between, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles that the Mario movie lacks a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely how I feel about the two.
I think I prefer the Sonic 2 movie as a movie but I prefer the Mario movie as a video game adaptation.
I think that's
Yeah. Yeah.
my exact feeling. Yeah.
Same.
All right, so we got kind of derailed. This is my fault. But,
It's fine.
So
go back.
yeah, so with like that first scene, because like with the references, some of them are very like hidden and not as obvious. Like that first scene when they're like, "Oh, we got to get to where we're going," and it's literally just like 1-1 recreated using construction materials was really cool.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so good.
But I feel like that's definitely something that you can just go right over people's heads. Like maybe you get
Yeah.
the ending bits and maybe the start if you were looking for it almost. But like maybe you just get the callbacks like, oh, it's like a Mario game, but maybe you don't realize they're doing 1-1.
Yeah, it is. It is like I do wonder how much of this movie is enjoyable. Like I think like even if you're not a big Mario fan, I think you could enjoy this movie. But like if you have like no knowledge on video games and how they work, like I don't know. Would
Like,
would
plus it
that
might be
scene mean
hard.
anything to you?
That was, did you see that one review where the person who reviewed it poorly was like, "You need to understand everything about Mario to see this confusing movie." It's like, wait, what?
No, I don't think you need to understand everything, but I do think you need at least some knowledge going in.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it definitely helped. It's one of those things where it adds to the experience. I feel like more than takes away from it. Maybe at how fast the movie is, it might take away more than others. But like Sonic movie kind of does it too. Like there's references, but they're always like, just like, oh, it's a cool thing. Like the gunship has like 97 on it or whatever, or
Yeah.
it was like 02 or something from whenever Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out or Adventure 2 came out, and then like Gun themselves showing up with the logo and everything. You like they don't put it out to you. Actually, Gun they do because they mock at the name when he explains it to them. But you know,
Yeah,
It's-
gun.
yeah, it was funny because like when Peach got the ice flower, there's like a kid behind me that said, "I didn't know she could." No, the fire flower. When she first did the fire flower, a kid behind me was like, "I didn't know she could do that." I was like, "Oh, that was 3D World."
She did that a lot. Yeah, I honestly like I like how they didn't go super deep into like doing any like crazy lore or world building for like the gamey elements.
Mhm.
Like they're like, yeah, bricks float here. Yeah, we call them power-ups. That's just how this world works. There's not like, oh, the power-ups come from this ancient force that we can't explain. Like no, they're just it's a video game.
Yeah, and that works very well for a Mario movie because
Yeah.
the Mario games themselves don't do that. Like,
Yeah, because like Sonic,
It-
the Sonic movies have to very deeply explain like every single thing.
Yeah.
mm,
Okay,
It's,
so I'm trying to remember where we were talking about plot because of jump around a lot. 'Cause there's a lot to talk about with this movie. I feel like, but
Yeah, for a movie with no plot, I feel like I could just like talk about this for like 3 hours.
yeah,
But I also think like just getting like on that topic, I guess like I don't think plot is like I don't know. I don't like thinking of movies as just like this checklist of things like you need to have.
Mhm.
And I feel like plot is one of those things where it's like you don't really need like to tell a story to make a movie. Like some movies can just be like a visual audio experience. Like I think horror movies get away with that a lot where it's just like, you know, the story doesn't really matter. What
yeah,
matters is the atmosphere and the visuals and just like really freaking you out.
yeah. It doesn't matter why these kids are in this situation; they should just leave
Yeah.
and just stick around for some reason.
So yeah, I don't see the lack of a plot in this movie being a negative. That being said, I hate the argument where it's like, it's a Mario movie. What did you expect? It's like Mario
Yeah,
games have done stories before.
yeah. It's not
They could have
wrong to
done
want
something.
more moments with these characters.
Yeah, like
Oh, okay, that was my thing when we're talking about the Sonic movie. We're to keep. Again, it's hard not to talk about the two. When we're talking about the
we
Sonic
love Sonic
movie
here.
on Japan time originally, and it's like, oh, I don't want to talk about, and I'm worried about spoilers and stuff. It's like, what's the spoiler? Obviously, he's gonna be Eggman. It's like, come on, like obviously that's gonna happen. But what's in the credits and all this stuff? It doesn't matter. It's like it's a movie. Why else do you watch a
Yeah.
movie if not to see what happens?
Yeah, exactly. Like it, in most movies, I feel like you know what's gonna happen in most movies, especially like action adventure things. Like, yeah, they're gonna do the thing at the end, but like it's all those moments in between that matter to the experience.
Yeah.
And so it's like I remember I watched a review of this before I saw it, and he mentioned the tiny mushroom. And it's like, ah, god damn it!
Yeah, because
Now
like,
that joke is ruined for me. Thank you.
yeah, because when he pulled it out, it was blue. It's like, oh, it's a mini mushroom. That's good because he just thinks it's a regular one. It's something that someone who doesn't know Mario is like, oh, that's a cool, interesting thing. Like you would see it's blue, maybe think nothing of it until he actually eats it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Like, if someone's not expressively talking about spoilers, talking about what power ups are in it, kind of sucks. Because that's kind of the joyous surprise of a video game movie is to see what the characters do that's from the games when you don't
Yeah.
expect it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the characters that show up and the power ups, because well, yeah, the characters that weren't shown in the trailers. Because like, if someone talked about, let's say, Pauline being in the film, well, she wasn't in any of the trailers, so that would be a little bit of a spoiler. Even though
Yeah.
she doesn't have a particularly big role, it's just like it's a nice surprise seeing her for the first time within the actual movie.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's something you just completely don't expect, and she just pops up. So the moment feels completely different if you just know, oh, Pauline's going to show up here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Uh,
I was fully ready for that little mushroom scene.
I really like, because I was worried with the trailers, like with the final trailer and stuff, and we were talking about this on like the main Japan time, right? That we thought Rainbow Road was going to be the climax of the movie, because it made the trailers always made like hyped up that point. Obvious Mario Kart, you thought it was going to be a big thing right there at the end, but it turns out that no, that's like the second act, and then the whole last act they basically showed nothing of it in any trailer. So I thought that was really well done. So you're just surprised where it goes from there.
Can we talk about Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I honestly thought it was like the weakest set piece.
Yeah, I could see that. I like the like little nods to it, like Mario getting chased by the blue shell Koopa and having to do drifts to like and snaking to actually
When Mario
get
snaked,
boosts.
I did lean forward.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Like, thought those were cool, and the fact that it ties into like Mario Kart 8 with them having like 0Gs, or when they build the carts, it's the Mario Kart 8 style with a big A button to press to confirm it.
Yeah, like all the references were really nice, and like seeing Mario do like the ultra shortcut on Rainbow Road was cool. But I just think as like an action scene, it left a little something to be desired.
I think part of it was because of the fact that it was all on Rainbow Road. I feel like, Mario Kart, of course, Rainbow Road is like the iconic Mario Kart track, but the variety of tracks is part of like what makes Mario Kart. And so being kind of just restricted to the one Rainbow Road the entire time, I feel like you don't get that visual variety that is such a big part of Mario Kart and Mario in general, to be honest. And that visual variety is there with all of the other major scenes, except that one.
Yeah, that could have been that was a big part. Also, I think generally like nothing in this movie was like super annoying or like cringeworthy. But when the blue shell came out of the fire and yelled blue shell, I'm like, oh,
the exact same. It's like you could have just done it. You didn't need to yell blue shell. If you just do it, everyone like the whole time this movie doesn't do that. Then this one moment they basically put it in your face what's happening. It was very
the worst
weird.
thing is like that's not even what he's called. It's called a spiny shell, guys. Officially. That was weird.
Period where it used to be called Blue Shell, and then they changed it.
I think it was always, from what I know, I think it was always called Spiny, but I could be wrong. But yeah, like it I don't know why in that moment, like after I was done, like immediately gave me flashbacks. Have you guys seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yes.
Yes.
It reminded me of the recap episode in the theater how like the performers on stage would be like water bending, ha,
Oh,
Oh
and they would
yeah,
yell.
yeah.
Yeah.
just like you didn't have to say blue shell. You could just become bro. Mario Kart is one of the biggest games in the world. Everyone would have gotten it. Everyone would have clapped.
Yeah, like the whole you can never escape from me and just do it would have been more
Yeah.
intimidating than you yelling blue shell. That was definitely the one thing of like all the little things they did. Like that was the thing. Like, oh yeah, this is a kids movie. It's
Yeah.
like it's why.
Very silly. Also, that is the performance that I did not enjoy. That's like the one the blue shell character. I did not
Mhm.
like his voice performance like at all. And maybe it's a little bit because of that blue shell line, but like even the lines before I didn't care for. Also, they didn't have to give the Koopas teeth.
I honestly I didn't even think about that. It's just like went completely over my head. I mean, I guess because Bowser is the king of them and he has them. They just like I'll just give him teeth.
I didn't like it.
I get
Where
it.
the teeth? Where do the teeth go when they become dry bones? That makes no sense.
Also, the fact that one of them, Bowser turns one of them into a dry bones, and they're just like,
Yeah.
that's a little funny gag. Gloss right over that. Okay, that's something I really want to talk about. We're probably just gonna keep going out of order at this point. But with Bowser, I like how he's obviously menacing. He's obviously threatening. They introduce him as this big, threatening, evil character, destroying the Penguin's whole castle just to get to this star. And then when he starts talking about, yeah, I want to marry Peach, it's made to be he seems so goofy about it, but it fits so
Yeah.
well with how he is as a character and how Jack Black is playing him. Is that like he's super serious, but then when it comes to Peach, he's a goofball.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Even like
And no one else is into the idea.
yes, I
Everyone's
thought
like,
it was
"What are you-
hilarious.
what?"
Because it'd be like if you don't know Mario, it's like why does this person want to marry Peach? And it's like played off extremely silly. And the fact that all the Koopas there feel that way, it kind of makes someone in the audience who feels that way is like you're like okay, I'm not alone in this feeling.
Yeah.
But I also liked how they flip it back. So when Peach says no, he's like, okay, then it just tortures the Toad. Is like,
Yeah.
So I think you
Instant
should
flip back
reconsider.
to evil.
Yeah. So they show you that like he's not. It's not like a weakness. He wants this, but he wants it in his terms, kind of thing.
Yeah. And just like and once it's all taken away from him, like that rage mode Bowser when his eyes get like super tiny and like
Mhm.
bright red, like he that's like the scariest Bowser has ever been.
Also, something I didn't think of, but with the Bonsai Bill, like he's there too. He was definitely about to get. You know what? I can't have it. Nobody leaves. Like he was just gonna
Yeah,
blow the
that's
whole
insane.
place up with himself there.
No regard for anyone's safety.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Also, that bonsai bill, because that's the thing with bullet bills, right? They have eyes on them, but it's like, are they actual eyes? Are they just painted on? Is it just a
Yeah,
display?
I always assumed they were not alive.
Yeah, but when Mario hits its eye and it looks at him and how menacing it looks, like that was one of the creepiest things in the movie. I thought that was done really well.
Yeah. The whole the whole chase with the bonsai bill was done really well.
Especially because up until that point where he hit the eye, you were still under the impression that it was just a big bullet/bomb that wasn't
Yeah.
sentient in any way.
Mm-hmm.
It's messed up. Can't believe they're actually real. It's like when I found out like bob bombs were sentient in Origami King. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, especially when Peach is like, I'm gonna fight all of you, and just lights King Bob on fire.
Dude, unfortunate.
Which
For
is
real.
which is especially funny because that's not what happens in Mario 64. You don't light him on fire, you just chuck him on the ground.
Yeah. Dude was asleep. He didn't do anything.
Also, did
It was
King
fun
Boo
to
just
see him
dip?
though.
Because I was thinking,
Yeah.
because King Boo's not in that fight at all. He's gone.
He does not care.
He vanished like a ghost.
Not even the cool King Boo. Come on, Illumination. You did so well.
Yeah, they kind of just did the generic normal Mario one and not like the Luigi's Mansion one.
Yeah. Saving that for the spinoff.
They definitely should. That Luigi's Mansion part and how they played it off, like a full movie or like a show or something that's like that, and Luigi having to deal with it would be really good.
Yeah.
Also, I was gonna say, well, speaking of something that's slightly morbid with the King Boo thing, Luma Lee, right? What that character in a kids movie was just like, what do you mean this blue Luma is goofing about the sweet escape of death? Like what?
Yeah.
The nihilistic Luma.
Yeah, I think it definitely works with like the Luma Lees, because like in Mario Galaxy, all they want to do is die and turn into a planet. Like that's their mechanical function in the game. So I think that it works really well if they wanted to have like a comedy relief nihilist character.
Mm.
It's very silly. But I was expecting the Luma Lee to be a bit more important just because it got like a toy. So it's like, all
I
right.
think they're trying to make it this movie's Minion. That's what the
Yeah.
feeling I got. Even pops up at the very end and plays a saxophone to go into the credits. I think they're trying to build it up as like the Minion for the Mario
Yeah,
movies.
the merchandisable. Yeah, I thought it was gonna lead into Rosalina or something like that, but it did not.
Third Mario movie. Not the
Third.
second one.
No,
Third
second one is Wario and Waluigi.
So so since we're here, let's talk about that credits scene, right? So with like the Yoshi egg in the sewer, that made me think of that old Mario movie so much, because wasn't that the plot of it, that like a Yoshi egg popped up in regular
I think so.
New York?
Yeah.
So either it might be a cool little callback, but that makes me think they're gonna do Daisy.
Yes, please.
Maybe Sarasa Land with Wario and Waluigi. I think that would work.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I honestly like. I think I'm so mad they didn't do Star Children, because that would have been perfect way to like implement that. Because that's how they introduce Yoshi as a Star Child in Yoshi's Island DS. Like it's a post-credit scene with a Yoshi egg hatching and Yoshi being the last Star Child. Oh, it would have fit so well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, I guess that's interesting. I didn't even think about Daisy when the Yoshi egg hatched. I'm just like, I saw the Yoshi egg hatch. I'm like, cool. Yoshi really doesn't have like plot significance.
I tell you, people like the group that was like cheering for the Jack Black's like Peaches scene, they were super excited for the Yoshi, because he's like, yeah, I knew it, Yoshi's gonna be in the next one. He was super excited.
Yeah. Yeah, Yoshi's cool, but like, yeah, like, I was expecting someone that would like very clearly infer what the next movie might be about, like a Wario or Rosalina or the Koopalings or
Yeah,
something like that.
I definitely expected like Wario or something, because like play up the villain instead of like, here's the next hero character. Because I feel like, I mean, Marvel did it a lot. They put like Thanos or something, like the next threat pops up at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what Yoshi means, but I guess I'm excited. I liked the movie and I want a sequel, so
I personally just hope they don't, because they're definitely probably gonna do, like, this movie is very much Mario and Peach. They're probably gonna do Mario and Yoshi, but let Luigi have some time too this time.
yeah, hopefully,
just be
yeah,
off to the
Luigi
side.
gets something. Yeah, I mean, like after this origin story, the sky's the limit. They can do a whole bunch of stuff without the baggage of having to do the origin story.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we'll get like some more character focused scenes in the next one.
Speaking of origins, what do you think of Peaches? Because another character is like, okay, she's Princess of the Toads, but she looks nothing like them. So them trying to say that she's like, yeah, them trying to say that she's actually like a human who just wandered in here and grew up here.
Yeah, and like I guess we aren't even like entirely sure if she's from even Earth. She could be just like a human from somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, because she does. There's many galaxies. When he asks about it, to just
because like
do a little tie.
the Mario world, like the Brooklyn thing, was really weird because like most of the characters looked like Mario and Luigi, like very like stout, big round noses and everything.
Mhm.
And then there's just Pauline, who just looks like Pauline. And it's like, I guess maybe there are people that look like if Pauline is from Brooklyn, then maybe Peach could be from Brooklyn.
And we talked about Baby Mario and Luigi earlier, and how they just basically are just look like, from the game Baby Mario and Luigi. But then like the
Yes.
Peach was like, maybe she was older because she didn't look exactly like Baby Peach.
It looked like Baby Peach.
Yeah, I didn't think it was too far from what I would expect from Baby Peach.
Yeah.
Did she have like a dress normally? And this one she like had like a pink
I
sweater.
I didn't focus on that. I
I was
wasn't she
looking
like
at
holding like
big-
a stuffed
big
toy?
head.
Yeah, big head. And then I thought it was cool seeing Peach in like the Toad outfit.
Oh yeah, as she was growing up in the montage.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, as someone who likes Daisy more than Peach, the Peach of this movie is very Daisy-like. She's very active and a
Yeah.
go-getter. So
Yeah,
I feel like if they put in Daisy, how would they play off of that?
I have seen that complaint where it's like you could have kept some of the old Peach.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down with her being kind of strong and independent, and obviously,
Yeah.
she was adopted by all of these toads, and she grew to kind of become their leader. But at the same time, like, she doesn't really have any of the Peach mannerisms. Like, you could have still kept her like strong and independent, but she still could have also been dainty and ladylike, and you
Yeah.
don't really get that from this Peach.
Yeah, there's nothing in this movie that's like when she stopped Sheik and Fox from fighting in subspace.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Like that's like that's such like a good Peach moment. And it's weird to like write that out. I don't know. But I did like seeing her like do stuff, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like having
the
her
ice
be
flower
the
scene was
guide
cool.
for like Mario made a lot of sense that she's been here. So if someone had to show him what this world is like, it makes sense that it's Peach. And then yeah, like that was another scene I wish they took their time with, because like, okay, she has to submit to this villain to save her people, but that's like 2 seconds, and then like immediately she's like, I am gonna rebel. I kind of wish they
Yeah.
had like a scene of her like thinking about what to do about the situation, almost more so than just
90
quick cut
minutes.
to- Yeah.
90 minutes, man. We gotta chop chop.
Maybe next time.
Also, like, no fart jokes, thank you.
Actually,
I was getting worried.
there was a single burp joke with the eel. That was like it.
Yeah, I was honestly expecting like when the eel was showing up and they were in the water and they were like, "Did you feel that?" I thought it was gonna be a fart joke. I felt it coming in my soul. But no, they had restraint, which was nice to see. And I think
They're
generally
holding it
like,
off for when they had Wario.
oh
True.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. He's
Yeah, I
definitely
think,
going
like-
co-oft.
I had a lot of reservations about the humor going in, and the jokes I did not like from the trailers, I still did not care for in the movie. But on the whole, I thought it was good. The humor and just like the general way they wrote the dialogue, I thought was very good for Mario.
Yeah. Especially writing dialogue for a character that does not talk. It's
Yeah.
definitely not the easiest thing in the world, but it didn't feel out of place at all, which goes to show how well they liked the character and prepped with Nintendo for this. Didn't have a almost Sonic movie 1 Sonic. Before
Yeah,
that
thank
got
goodness.
thrown out.
Oh, jeez. Chip and Dale.
Yeah. Actually, the Chip and Dale movie actually was really good, but bad.
It was
Sonic
funny.
appearing in that.
I liked pointing at the screen whenever something funny happened. But no, yeah, it has been weird seeing like people compare this to the first Sonic movie when it's like,
Yes. Okay. I saw
Not
that
even
a lot,
close.
and it's like, wait a minute, you're comparing a movie that came out in 2023 to a movie that came out 3 years ago, when there's a second movie, which is more fitting to compare this one to.
yeah, that first Sonic movie, the more time we get away from it, the more it just feels like a weird anomaly. Like, you don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah, I feel like they changed Sonic and they brought in Tyson Hesse to help, so it has more of that feel of like love for the character than probably the first draft did. But the second movie has so much of it that you can tell they're fully on board with no, we shouldn't just make our own shit up. Like we should kind of follow the games a little bit while still telling our own story because the fans will like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Sonic 2 was very fun for me. I enjoyed that a lot. And I enjoyed this movie a whole lot.
Yeah. I definitely I can't get over it. Like I was enjoying I'm trying to think how to explain this because I'm trying to think back to how I felt about Sonic 2 and how I felt about this. And it's just like I'm super biased. I really like Sonic. So like Sonic 2, I'm super happy the whole time. I'm smiling. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying this movie, but not to the same level because like I like Mario, but I'm just not as much a fan of Mario as I am Sonic.
Yeah. Mario, like, unless you're like a super fan, he doesn't really hit you in the soul as much as like a good Sonic could do. Yeah, Mario's just there to, he's just fun. He's just, bing bing wahoo. And it's great. And that's all he really needs to be. He's he's like the most approachable game character. And that's why this movie is making mucho money.
Yeah. Like for how known Sonic is, Mario's known just as much, if not more. So
yeah,
you put Mario in a movie, you can get kids who like video games will go see it. Adults who like video games will see it. Adults who played NES once as a kid and remember it will go see it. You probably know someone who's played a Mario game or something like that. So it definitely. So that's something I want to ask actually, because I have this feeling because this movie is doing extremely well. Like to beat Disney as a #1 animated film is insane. Like that cannot be understated how crazy that is. So this movie's doing crazy well. The Sonic movies have both done really well as well. So we're definitely getting a bunch of video game movies next. Like, sure, the Monster Hunter movie happened, but like, I feel that was again Hollywood feeling like, no, we're gonna make our movie with these things from that instead of making a Monster Hunter movie. Which because that was the old video game movies. But I feel like we're going straight into like video game movies being the new superhero movies, and we're gonna see a lot of these.
Yeah, I do think like what's the word? We had like some good video game movies beforehand. Like I think like the Pokemon ones, like the early Pokemon ones were like fun. And I know people hype up the Mortal Kombat one a lot. But like I feel like Sonic or Sonic 2 was like the turning point. And now like we're getting just tons and tons of really solid adaptations.
Yeah, because I feel like that movie showed that you don't have to go off the rails, because what they try to go off the rails is about to get blown up for being not looking good at all. And then they pulled it back and then forced that with the second one. So it showed, no, you can make a movie focused on a game. And I think because of the success of the Sonic movies, Nintendo's like, okay, let's try a Mario movie. Because like Miyamoto did interviews where they're saying like, after the failure of past IP attempts at making movies, we were kind of against it. Now we have like Nintendo Pictures. They bought that, like, I think it's an animation studio they bought. So like Nintendo Pictures is a thing now. So we're probably
it's not like a movie studio. It's like they like make short films and like animations for like like video game openings or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they're gonna make movies with them, but they could. So and honestly, like, I think they should.
Yeah,
because it'd be fun.
So right now, I'll put you on the spot, both of you. With Illumination, probably foreseeable future doing Mario movies, who would you like to do Legend of Zelda and Metroid? What studio?
So the thing about Illumination is that they opened a branch recently called Moonlight, which is just, it's still Illumination, but it is just like a branding for more mature animated films.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think under that umbrella, Illumination could do a Zelda and a Metroid, because like visually I think they are capable. Like the Mario movie visually was very, very stunning.
Yeah, for sure.
So like I could see them making like a very beautiful like Zelda world or even like Metroid world. They just need to find the right people to write and direct it. Um, yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
I have no issues with Illumination doing the other movies.
Oh my god, I know, I know my brain currently isn't working right now. When I was like, oh yeah, they should get Sony Animation Studios to do the Nintendo films, and I was like, wait a minute, wait, no, that doesn't work. No, they can't do that.
I Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, no, because I was just thinking, man, Sony Animation Studios do great stuff. You know, obviously, Into the Spider-Verse is the immediate example that comes to mind. But I guess then beyond that, I guess maybe like considering their most recent stuff, DreamWorks will probably do a good job. But I don't know. This is also assuming strictly that we're going with the animated film approach. But I feel like for those two franchises in particular, they could work a live action approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could.
And make it work. Metroid, in
Metroid,
particular, I
yeah.
think would work very well live action.
I was gonna say for Zelda, definitely DreamWorks, because like you said, Mike, the whole like going on an adventure thing, I feel like DreamWorks does that really well, and like a Zelda story that would fit really well.
I do think like whatever they choose, I do think it will be under the Universal umbrella, just because like that's their big partner right now with the theme parks and everything, and this movie.
Yeah.
So like if they do another movie, I think it will either be like a DreamWorks, Illumination, or one of their live action studios.
Also, DreamWorks definitely, not DreamWorks, sorry, Universal definitely played their cards right.
Oh my god, like what a deal.
Yeah.
What a
Yep.
deal.
Both their theme parks and their movies are going to be going crazy with Nintendo characters as long as they don't.
Yeah, I
mess them
almost
up.
I feel bad for Illumination because like I see this a lot with like Five Nights at Freddy's. Like whenever a studio gets involved with that, it's like that's all they want them to make now.
Oh,
And like I'm
yeah.
worried like Illuminate. I don't want, and I don't think they will, because I know they're coming out with a new movie called Migration, which seems to be taking a lot of tech from this movie, which is very cool to see them implementing it already in their new films, like the new lighting and texturing and everything. Yeah, I just I don't want Illumination to just turn into like a Nintendo movie studio.
I feel like what really helps them is how big they are before this. Because
Yeah.
since they're already such a large studio and they've already been super successful, that they will still have that reach to be like, no, we can do something else.
Yeah.
I feel like a studio like that, I don't think Universal will be like, no, you must do this and only this now, when they have shown capability of doing other things and being successful at it.
Yeah, Minions is huge. I'm sure they'll keep doing like their original movies are still huge. So yeah, I'm not super worried, but yeah, I just, even though I'm not a big fan of Illumination's original movies, I don't want to see them lose their ability to make original movies just because like we gotta do Star Fox, guys. Sorry about it.
Oh yeah, that for sure could be a really good movie, actually. Yeah, I know he has an R-wing on his desk or over his TV in his room in this movie, but like,
Yeah,
a
Star Fox would be a great movie.
pretty good one, yeah. Especially if they actually go straight, because like I feel like default Star Fox is fine enough, but if you do like almost adventures and tie in both like flight sections and ground sections, I feel like that could work really well. More
Honestly,
so
I've
than
been
just,
saying
like,
this.
Top Gun.
Like, I think genuinely Star Fox needs to pivot more mature.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, take Assault and go even further. And maybe I'm just like a Fox and Space pilled right now, but like, it's just I think it works so well for that universe.
I mean, when you get down to it, it's very serious and very dark. Like how if Metroid was goofy, then the story of like Ridley eating Samus's parents would make no sense. But because Metroid is allowed to be darker, then all those themes can come through and like fit with it. But Star Fox, like, part of it's pretty dark. I mean, Andros kills his father and he's trying to like avenge him and all this stuff, but he just like it's played very sillily.
Yeah. I would like to see again Assault, but like push even further. And I think a movie would be a good place to do that. Flesh it out a bit more.
Yeah.
Get into the emotions of the characters.
That's like what I'm most excited about for seeing more like games on theaters is really getting those moments of getting to actually see these characters exist because like in a game, yeah, you have tons of time to exist with the character, but a lot of time the character is just a window for you to exist in that world, and they don't actually get to exist themselves unless it's like a very story driven game. Then they do. So getting characters that are very much those window characters, and then they get to just exist, and you see more about them is so great.
Yeah, no, like all those, like, even though they were very short, having those little character moments in the movie, like, it adds so much to the film.
I think so. We can go on for a while. Is there anything like very specific to the movie? Anything else you guys want to really hit on? We super went out of order, but I feel like we talked about
we went
a lot of it.
Super duper out of order. No, I'm just really happy with it. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Ever since it was announced, and then just like every single like beat up until this point, just like the poster, and then that first Nintendo Direct where we first saw it and we first heard Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. This is like everything led up to this, and I'm happy that I saw it and I enjoyed it as much as I did.
Yeah. They all everyone working on this did a great job.
Yeah, definitely excited to see where they take Mario and the rest of Nintendo from here, because this is definitely an amazing starting point that for sure we're gonna see. Hopefully not the oversaturation, but we're gonna see a lot of video game movies.
Yeah, and no matter what happens, we'll always have this movie at the very like. This is the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
Sad critics didn't like it, but I guess that's understandable.
I feel like a lot of critics are movie critics at least, are very out of touch with like what audience actually enjoy nowadays.
Yeah, because they're too busy trying to look at it from a perspective of, an informed moviegoer is going to go into this without knowledge of Mario, and a lot of these movie critics are probably middle-aged to quite old, and just, yeah, as you said, kind of out of touch with what the general audience actually just enjoys watching. Because this happens very often with these sorts of films. A lot of not just these better video game adaptations, but with a lot of these kind of action movies as well. The user score is always a lot higher because it's not about any kind of avant-garde filmmaking techniques. It's not about any kind of profound storytelling. It's just a good fun time at the cinema.
Yeah. Which is, it's always fun to have movies like that. So it's very weird.
Yeah, we need movies like that.
Yeah, someone judges a movie like this, like it's supposed to tell something super serious. Like I would love for it to tell a little more, because like we all said, it goes very fast, and we want a little more parts. But
like Sonic 2 is like a big comfort movie for me, because like I feel like no matter what mood I am in, what matter headspace I'm in, like I know I could always just turn it on and enjoy the experience. Whereas like if I'm gonna watch Del Toro's Pinocchio, I have to like mentally engage super hard with that one.
Yeah.
And emotionally engage. Whereas like Sonic is like, I just plop that on and I see Sonic do some fun stuff, and I get some touching character moments that I don't have to like, that don't like make me rethink my life.
Yeah.
It's just a fun time.
I don't know. They might need to hire new people, because when the video game movies keep coming, they might have issues. All their reviews are super negative. When then the fans go and not even like. Sometimes it is fans going and rating a movie, but sometimes just people who go watch movies. Because like I feel like more people that just watch movies use those websites to rate a movie than just someone who just plays video games and will go see a video game movie kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I can understand why critics didn't love it. Yeah, I was kind of hoping going into this movie that like, oh, it's gonna be like a Puss in Boots thing where like literally everyone that goes, we all unanimously love it. It's tough to see, like, honestly, like a lot of really bad conversations surrounding this movie right now, like really miserable conversations to engage with. That's kind of sad to see for a movie that's just like so simple and just so like yippee wahoo, have a fun time. Thank you so much for watching my movie.
Yeah, I guess that's just like the divisiveness and I guess the pacing of the movie, because that to me feels like the biggest thing you could be upset about is just how fast it's all going.
Yeah.
Like you said, that was a conscious decision to fit a certain runtime, so they made decisions about it. And like having more stuff, I would love more stuff, but I don't think it makes the movie worse. Like not
Yeah.
like, okay, it's worse technically, but it's not like awful for it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Because everything they do, I think, is they're doing well.
Yeah, it's just I did wish it, the general reception was if not more positive, at least not as miserably negative as it's gotten. Like, I don't know, people are fighting battles out here. It's like bro, calm down.
Yeah, it's a Mario movie. We can be, which is it's weird also because like Sonic 2, I feel like did not get that at all. Well, I mean Sonic 2, slower, more character moments. They really played on.
I think
Sonic
Mario is just
characters.
like it's more mainstream Mario, and it's like more people are talking about it.
True.
And also, actually, the big thing, I think the big reason why it's become like such a hot button like topic is just because it beat Disney.
Yeah.
If it didn't beat
doing
Disney,
so well
yeah.
now, people need to have an opinion on it.
Yeah. And now it's a big culture war thing. It's like, oh my god, I hate this so much.
It doesn't help that unlike the Sonic 2 movie, the Mario movie is a fully 3D animated film rather than
like
the
live
action one.
Yeah.
Because the general perception, particularly from critics around animated films, is always, not even just critics, but like general audiences as well, is always different to that of live action.
Yeah.
Generally, the medium is not taken as seriously.
It is. It's so sad when I bring up like, are you gonna go see the new Spider-Man movie? And they're like, there's a new Spider-Man coming out. I'm like, yeah, Spider-Verse. And they're like, oh, the animated one.
Yeah, actually, I was so because my uncle's super into comics, so he has some super old rare comics, everything. He sees all the Marvel movies, we talk about them. But when the first Spider-Verse happened, I said, "Did you see it? Oh, it's the animated one." No, I didn't see that. I was like really surprised because it just never hit me as like people's just aversion to animated stuff. Because I feel like, oh, it's just for kids. It's like it's animated.
Which
is crazy
very
because
weird.
Spider-Verse is unequivocally the best Spider-Man, best feature-length Spider-Man film probably ever.
Yeah.
I'm biased.
And I don't even think it's close.
I am partial to Spider-Man 3 of the Tobey Maguire trilogy. But
like I said,
Spider-Verse goes crazy.
Growing up with all those Spider-Man movies and seeing them all together at once was like, that's so cool. But I do really like Spider-Verse as well.
I think like if I put like my bias aside, I think I would agree that Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie. But yeah, like people just don't give it as much of a time of day as the live action ones. It's sad. And that's why like I get so bent out of shape whenever people are like, it's a kids movie, because like I guess it's age appropriate, but like it's like when you can still see it.
Yeah.
Like adults can still go to these movies and enjoy these films just as much as anybody. Like once you're an adult, you don't have to write off movies that instill joy.
I feel like as we're getting older, the times are changing and it's not like that. Because I remember, like, random aside, but going to my uncle who's like in his 70s now, but like one time, is he still playing video games? Aren't you a little old for that? And it's like, unironically, it's like people just don't really say that kind of stuff anymore. But in the past, that was just the mindset of everything of like, yeah, this is for kids, and you grow out of it, and you just don't do it anymore, kind of thing. I feel like
it's just it's weird to like base like an entire like classify an entire medium as that though. It's so weird to me. And just like why is this a kids movie, and like we don't treat like the live action age appropriate stuff like the same way. Like in that same label, like why don't we like view Star Wars the same way? Like
Yeah,
people are
Star
so critical about
Wars,
Star Wars, but like I
most of the
never see
Marvel
anyone be like,
movies.
it's a kids movie. It's so weird. Just because it's animated.
I mean, we'll see though, because I feel like the rise of like the animated video game movie is going to happen. Because this movie did too well, not for other studios to see this and be like, okay, who can we shop around with and make a movie of something?
Yeah. I don't know. Do other? Because Halo flopped, but that was for other reasons.
Because
I just like
because I feel like that Halo TV show was very much the same old vein of we know better. Who cares
Yeah.
about your story? We're making our story, and like you were trying to get fans first. Because you get fans, they will tell other people. But if you alienate the fans, you just kill it. I feel like that's why Halo didn't do well. Monster Hunter didn't do well. Like that was the old way of movies. But I feel like now, when this is doing well, Sonic is doing well, people are gonna understand. Like, okay, people want to see these characters act like themselves in a believable way that works within their universe, and then we can expand on that.
Last of Us went super mainstream, but they got the guy who actually directed the game in on there.
Yeah, they changed parts of it. I hear they made Joel worse, but it's very much still
They did
Last
make
of Us
Joel
at its
worse.
core. They just changed parts of it.
Yeah, I would argue it's like I would argue you have not experienced Last of Us unless you play the game, but you know, TV show's still good. It's good on its own merits, but it's like it's they they changed the characterization of a lot of characters to where it's like, ah, this isn't my Last of Us, you know.
Yeah.
And my Last of Us, Joel yells a lot, and in your Last of Us, Joel is just like, Ellie, don't you do this.
Oh yeah, actually, how did that Uncharted movie do? Because I know that came out, and I've
I heard
nothing
people
about
did not
it.
like it.
I quite liked it. But I also haven't played the Uncharted games. I just
Yeah.
liked it as a fun action flick.
The opinions I've heard of it were not kind. So I don't know.
Yeah, because I feel like that's like a movie that's in this new era, but I didn't really hear much about it. So I'm sure it did well or not.
Yeah, like this Mario movie is doing great, and like I'm sure like a lot of studios are seeing dollar signs, but I'm just wondering like what other video game properties do you think have the potential to kind of break into the mainstream like this, like The Last of Us in this movie did?
Okay, again bias, but I almost think Gears of War, because like if you do a really dark
yeah.
and gritty like war movie in the Gears universe, that could work really well. Like the first Gears easily could set up into a movie.
Yeah, I think that could work. Aren't they doing that too?
Are they?
Like Gears, I thought they were adapting Gears. It's like honestly, I'm not even.
Netflix is making one.
Oh.
Okay, that should be pretty good.
Just trying to think like what other I know I'm sure other Nintendo stuff will do decently well. Obviously not as well as this because it's fucking Mario.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think Zelda, because I feel like Mario's people see Mario more kiddie, but people see Zelda more adult. So I think if you do Zelda, I don't know if it'll pass this, but I think it can do almost as well as this.
I think Zelda immediately loses like the very young audience.
True.
So you do lose a lot of money there. But I still think, you know, you'll get the older generation that grew up with like Zelda or like heard that Ocarina of Time was the best game ever made and like, oh, I gotta check this out.
Yeah.
Unless they make a Toon Link, that's a good point, Dippy. Unless they do Toon Link, they could do that.
True, actually, they could do Toon Link if they want to go full animated over like Breath of the Wild or like Twilight Princess style Zelda.
I think though if you're making like if you're making a primary initial Zelda movie, you don't start with Toon Link. Even if you're doing an animated one, you do it more like the classic style Link. Ocarina of Time is probably a good reference point since that is, I think, that and like Twilight Princess are like the iconic Link designs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think if they do a Zelda, do they do like a specific game, or do they just like do their own OC story but take elements from other games?
The thing is, if they actually just make their own story, but have like the Zelda producers involved, they can easily just write it in. Because the way Zelda works, you easily could make a new story, and you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
make it fit into how Zelda works. So they
It
could
could just
do that.
it could just be another deviation of the Zelda timeline because there's already so
Yeah.
many as there are.
Yeah. And I feel like that would work really well, because then now you're like in a situation where you can go a little off the beaten path but keep it grounded in what Zelda is. So people who know Zelda can be a little more surprised about what she might go about doing.
Yeah. Trying to think of a lot of like non-Nintendo stuff, because I think a lot of the Nintendo stuff could do pretty well.
I think it's like Spyro. Maybe that
Spyro
might
would be interesting.
a bit of my bias, but Spyro would be cool. Crash even. Both about to be owned by Microsoft.
Oh right, forgot about that.
I would have said World of Warcraft, but I haven't even seen that movie, but I heard it is not good.
Where's the Overwatch TV show? That feels like that was like a done deal.
Yeah, with how that game is designed, it really would lend itself to that.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry movie.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
actually, that'd be so good. Actually, Capcom has so many IPs. I know, like, they're doing another Street Fighter, but Capcom is like a treasure trove of IPs you could pull and make a movie of. They do a Resident Evil. Most of those are not good, but, maybe. New era.
Try again.
I know they're doing Death Island instead of being, like, random survivors. It's literally, like, all the main characters of Resident Evil are on this one island together. Honestly, yeah, it's surprising they have not done a Mega Man movie at this point.
Mm.
Oh my God, I totally forgot. Dude, I don't know how much you guys care about this. Five Nights at Freddy's, they're doing it. It's coming out October.
I mean, I've seen it. I've seen the trailers. I won't lie to you. Probably not gonna see that movie.
Have you seen the screenshot that they posted?
I have.
You saw him? He's standing outside the restaurant, dude.
Oh, I've seen it. I did not look too long, but I have seen it.
I think that's gonna be good, dude.
I hope it's good for everyone that likes it. I like Sleep, so I would not be seeing that one. Unless
I don't think that'll blow up, but I think it's gonna be good.
Speaking of sleep, I need that shit right now.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
We can wrap though. Went kind of long, so thank you guys for watching. Well, real fast, any final thoughts you want to say about the movie before we end?
Lovely. Enjoyed it.
Honestly, I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. I can't think of anything else.
I know a good way we can wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Wario?
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, I feel like hearing Danny DeVito, I feel like I go with that.
All right, there we go.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. I haven't done one of these roundtables in a while. Hopefully next time we'll have more than just 3 of us. But if not, we'll hold down the fort. And since no one's here, we'll probably end up talking about this again on Japan Time. So look forward to that. And hope you subscribe to the Japan Time YouTube for more Japan Time content. Catch you guys next time.